Подивіться, що робиться.
Mass protests have erupted in the western Ukrainian city of Vinnitsa, following reports that dozens of men were forcibly detained and taken to a local stadium by military draft officers. The unrest highlights growing public anger over what many now describe as Ukraine's increasingly aggressive mobilization campaign amid continued losses on the battlefield. The incident began late Friday when eyewitnesses reported that around 100 men were rounded up and taken to Lokomotiv Stadium by officers from Ukraine's territorial recruitment centres. The detained individuals were allegedly brought in for conscription processing. As word spread, relatives of the men, many of them women, rushed to the stadium to demand their immediate release. Footage from the scene shows crowds of protesters shouting "Shame!" at law enforcement officers and attempting to break through the stadium gates. Police reportedly responded with force, deploying pepper spray and detaining several demonstrators. As tensions escalated, authorities reportedly blocked key bridges and roads leading to the stadium to prevent more protesters from joining the demonstration when the local curfew ended at 5 a.m. Additional footage shared on social media shows police vehicles and unmarked minibuses moving in and out of the site, with armed officers using force to clear pathways. In one emotional moment, relatives of the detained men were seen laying down on the asphalt in front of vehicles to stop the buses from leaving, only to be forcibly removed by police. Despite appeals from law enforcement, many residents refused to disperse, staying outside the gates through the night in defiance of the government's mobilization tactics. Ukraine's general mobilization policy requires all able-bodied men between the ages of 25 and 60 to serve in the armed forces. However, growing frustration has emerged over what critics call forced conscription. Videos circulating online for months now depict draft officers dragging men off the streets and into unmarked vans in scenes that have been nicknamed "buzification." While Ukraine's Defense Ministry has not issued a statement about the Vinnitsa incident, newly appointed Defense Minister Denis Shmyhal recently claimed that 90% of all conscription occurs voluntarily. He blamed incidents of violence and coercion on what he called isolated errors or human mistakes. But public sentiment tells a different story. Many Ukrainians, especially in western regions like Vinnitsa, are expressing growing unease with how recruitment is being handled. With continued high casualties at the front lines and no clear end to the war in sight. Some families say they feel caught between loyalty to their country and the fear of losing loved ones in a war of attrition. Rights groups and independent observers have also raised concerns about the legality of such tactics, warning that forced mobilization without due process may violate both Ukrainian and international law. As the conflict grinds on, Ukraine's government faces a delicate balance between maintaining its military strength and preserving public trust. The protests in Vinnitsa serve as a stark reminder of the human toll behind the headlines and the growing divide between battlefield policy and civilian reality. For now, the relatives of the detained men continue to demand answers, and the wider public is watching closely.
Подивіться.